Hello all, I have decided to start doing some quicker, simpler videos. They're kind of like tutorials, but they're kind of almost like a DIY video blog, where I just basically shoot video over whatever I'm already working on and just make the video. And hopefully you can get some kind of information from it. So I'm doing a two-part of my Lenovo upgrade. I have a Lenovo Thinkpad e545. So basically, I'm upgrading. I'm adding internal storage to the laptop, so it has two hard drives. I'm adding 16 gigabytes of RAM to replace the 4 gigabytes, and I show off. I got this little external hard drive enclosure that reuses old laptop hard drives. So all of this stuff is very cheap. It's old hard drives that I've just kind of found, and RAM I got like a coupon on. And then in the second video, I upgrade the looks of the Lenovo by adding Dynoc carbon fiber wrap. So maybe you'll learn something. I mean, the crux is to show people that it's really simple to modify stuff. And if you want to upgrade your laptop, you don't always have to buy a brand new one. And sure as hell don't have to buy a MacBook Air. Like, you can get something simple that's built like a tank, like an old Lenovo, and you can upgrade it to whatever the hell you need to use it for. And be honest with yourself and what you're actually going to use it for. I don't know. That's my old man thing for the day. But if I can start the fucking video, record this whole thing. So angry. So fucking angry the whole time. It's a bit of an older model now. It was kind of basically a overblown word processor. It's got enough power to play some video games and do a little bit of light video editing, but out of the box it just doesn't have power or storage to really do what I want it to do. And even though it has this nice little scratch proof top cover coating stuff, you can see that there's a scratch and there's some other crap on there. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to wrap the top in carbon fiber vinyl. This is the same stuff I used on my giant cockpit thing, and we're going to install some RAM. It only has 4 gigabytes installed, and it shares RAM and processor speed with the graphics card. It's all one integrated unit, so you gotta imagine 4 gigs of RAM in a Windows 7 trying to do anything in Adobe Premiere or playing a modern video game or something. It's just stop motion time. So dual channel 8 gigabyte each, so 16 gigabyte total. It's a pretty damn big memory upgrade from what I have. And on order, I have something in the side here, which I'll explain. The supercharged, I don't remember what the fuck it's called. Super bank, super slot, my ThinkPad. ThinkPads have this thing, and I know some MacBooks have this too. You can take out the DVD drive and install a hot swap bay, and it's really, really simple. I don't have my hot swap bay yet, but I might as well take the drive out. The DVD drives on these are very simple, very robust, and I really, really love them. Except for the screw sucks. Fuck you. So take that out. Just pops out one single screw, and then if you look at that, you can see that that is basically just, you know, a new eSATA and power. The power is actually shorter than normal. Let me get a hard drive really fast. This is a standard Hitachi 3.5 inch hard drive, and the connectors are basically the same, except the power connector is longer. If you want to install a secondary hard drive, you can get a caddy. For whatever reason, ThinkPad and Lenovo don't sell this as a part for this, but it's totally compatible with this. It's just a hard drive caddy. It looks exactly like this DVD player. It even has this DVD player cover on it, except there's a slot that you can drop an existing 3.5 inch hard drive in, and then it converts this pin out over here, and then you just slide it back in. But I don't have that in my hands yet. I will later in the video. This thing only has 320 gigabytes of memory installed. I had an old hard drive here. It's 150 gigabytes. So I got one of these Oracle external hard drives. They're all in one USB 3.0, so it does power and data transfer, and they're pretty neat. I got this on sale for 14 bucks, so I just take the hard drive in, facing you, push it in, make sure that's pushed in all the way, and then you push down and in, and then it should lock. Yeah, locked. They even come in these, like this, come with this nice little weighted travel caddy. So it's got a weighted panel on the back. Yeah. Rubber coating, pretty durable, makes a little bit of noise, but that can be fixed with a little bit of double back tape. So this will be my external drive for this hard drive. This will be my external drive for this laptop. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this back panel off in order to get to the RAM. If you're going to be doing any work under this thing, it's all under one panel. This panel here is for your networking card. And these screws have capture nuts on the bottom of them, or those little metal C-clamps, so they don't screw out all the way. You unscrew until you hear them click like that. It's really weird to do this through a camera monitor. Just 3 screws, and then your tabs here. Push in and up, and then it just lifts off. There's nothing attached to the bottom or anything. So there's my standard 5400 RPM 320 gigabyte hard drive, which is eventually going to get swapped out for a solid state drive. Here is a blank space where I don't know what that's for, and I would like to know. I thought the processor went there, but apparently they push these tabs out and it pushes the RAM up, and you just lift it off. It's zero force, I forget what it's called, zero force something or other, fuck it. So then you enter this in at an angle, you know, like your lady. Push down, it'll click. Enter that at an angle. Push down and click. More basic laptops like this, a lot of that stuff's integrated, but it also makes it really easy to swap your basic components out. So if you're afraid to swap stuff out like RAM and hard drives, you know, videos like this aren't really necessary. I'm basically just making this because I'm bored. I don't know what the manufacturer is. I saw Hynix on there. SK Hynix. I've never seen that brand. I've never seen these chips before. So here's your manufacturer's part number, by the way, if you want to get some of these directly from Lenovo. You can see that it's 4 gigabytes. It's 1280S. That's the speed. PC3L is the type. So now the PC3L, let's go ahead and pop one of these DIMMs back out and see if it's 1600 SO DIMM. It doesn't have the L like this one does, but the L signifies 1.35 volts. Standard run on 1.5 volts, but a lot of the newer ones, like Crucial, almost all of the RAM from Crucial has an L version that runs on low voltage. That's what the L is for on this. Low voltage is 1.35. Your laptop will be able to handle either 1.5 or 1.35. This particular RAM set that I found, it was about $10 more for the low voltage version, so it uses less power, but it was exactly the same speed and exactly the same capacity as their other high voltage version. Let's go ahead and put that boy back in bed. Oh yeah. Tactile. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set my panel back on. You set it down at an angle like this. Make sure that these clips right here, these little pegs go in. I've already stressed one of them out by putting it in backwards. So you just press down, you can hear it click in place. It's not going to click all the way in place because your screws aren't all the way down yet. And make sure that they're straight so they actually engage in the socket. I wonder if this sounds really intimate because the microphone's right in my face. I hope this isn't clipping too much. Okay, so as you can see, it's a different day. Let me flip a light on. This came in the mail today. This is what I was talking about. This is the replacement for the DVD drive. There was one problem though. I did order this one for my specific model, and it came with this little DVD slipcover doodad. The problem is that's not the way my DVD player looks at all in this thing. So we're gonna do it. Oh, hit the camera. Oh my gosh. Such a noob. As you can see, this is what the front bezel looks like on this, and this is the one that I got, which is not, it's not the right shape or size. It's not remotely the same. So, I mean, I don't know. Used DVD players for this thing are very, very cheap, and I actually kind of thought about getting one anyway, so I could play Japanese DVDs. The whole reason I'm doing this project is because I'm going to move to Japan for a couple of months, and I wanted to hire up my laptop out a little bit so I didn't have to, you know, pack up my giant PC over here. So, I might just pop this bezel off and get a different one on there. But anyway, I have a couple of spare hard drives over here from old laptops. So, from what I understand, I just kind of lay it in here and push it up. And that should be good enough. It came with like weird tools, and this is a piece of rubber. Like, I don't know if that's supposed to fit down in there or what the fuck this is for. It also came with these little rubber studs, and there's no instructions. I mean, these are the instructions here, and they're also upside down. So it's pushed in place, so I guess we can just go ahead and flip it in there. The one thing that's really important is there's no pull tab to pull the thing back out, and there's no screw tab to actually screw it in place. So if you're permanently switching to a secondary hard drive and you're like, I don't know why people even use DVD players, then you'll probably be fine. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and attach this DVD doodad because it's like impossible to get this thing back out without it. I'm just going to snap it on. And see, even this one doesn't really fit that great. It fits okay. It feels like it's pressed in all the way. As you can see, I mean, the bezel is not the right size. There's a new volume. That's it right there. Let's zoom in. New volume E, 150 gigabytes. That's the one I just installed. So since this thing, I've installed 16 gigabytes of RAM, which I guess we can look at really quick. There, so now you can see my Windows score. Let's see if I can get that in focus. No, I can't. You see it's got 16 gigabytes installed, 15.1 gigabyte usable. This uses shared memory with the graphics card, and for some reason on this Lenovo model you can't actually adjust how much the graphics card uses. So I wish I'd known that before I stuck a bunch of money in it, because that was kind of the crux of working on this thing with graphics. It needs a lot of graphics memory. It's controlled by the system, and there doesn't seem to be a way to edit it. It's definitely not on the BIOS screen. But anyway, whenever you have a laptop that needs a lot of memory and speed, you can use a lot of virtual memory and Ready Boost. So I know this one I'm not really going to be using it all that much, this new volume. So I have a lot of it allocated for emergency visual memory, and I always keep a old 16 gigabyte SDHC card in the card slot with Ready Boost enabled. Ready Boost is essentially like virtual memory, except you can use flash memory. So that's an old 16 gigabyte card. It's a class 10. It was in one of my old Galaxy phones. So that's another little performance tip for you. So really, until I get a faster hard drive, this thing's pretty much maxed out as far as I can push it. This thing does have a replaceable non-integrated socket for CPU. So if I want to upgrade to an A10, the A10 processor is a 2.5 quad core, and it also has a much faster Radeon graphics card. I think this thing has a 8450G. That one has something, a larger number. But I think that one also reallocates more RAM to your video memory as well. It also has a faster processor clock speed, so blah, 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 computer things. So anyway, for now, this is probably the way I'm going to take it to Japan. It should be good enough to do some basic video editing and to do photo editing, and this is basically what I want to use it for. And, to watch TV whenever I'm bored and can't go out. So this has been upgrading my Lenovo E545. If you ever want to upgrade a laptop and you're like, I'm afraid, you don't have to be, because I did it with one screwdriver and an X-Acto knife and a couple of parts from Amazon. I should also note that this hard drive bay was only about $20. And if you have a Lenovo, I know that you'll find one for your compatible model. Even if Lenovo doesn't make one, a Chinese company will. That's where I ordered this one from. So that's pretty much it. I hate it when people in their videos like that. So that's pretty much it. All right, that was the end of part one, where we upgraded the electronic side of the Lenovo, and stick around for the second part where we add carbon fiber wrap because we can. Except for the screw sucks. Fuck you.